Procter & Gamble, they cut guidance for the second time in 2 months. They blamed slowing growth in Europe and the US, and currency is in there as well. What was your take on the announcement?
Really disappointing because they announced such a big restructuring a month and a half ago, right? And so you thought that we knew that there were going to be problems with volumes. We knew that raw material costs haven't come down quick enough. That will help them next year, but it's not going to help them immediately. But it wasn't offset by the restructuring. And so that was where the surprise was. And so that is why you'll hear that most people think that this is a Procter & Gamble specific issue.
Do you think it's too big of a company that maybe it needs to split up like we're seeing with Kraft? They're spinning out part of their businesses.
You know, I don't know if it's too big of a company. You know, it's a consumer product story. It's not that complicated. I mean, I know it is, but it's not. It's not like this high-tech situation. I do think that the strategy, though, is really unknown in terms of what are they going to do to get themselves out of this funk, right? They've been in one for a couple of years, and you know, is it the CEO? Is it the leadership issue, or is it the fact that they're not moving into some of the faster growing areas of the world, like the emerging markets areas? I mean, if you look at Unilever, they've been aggressively expanding into emerging markets, and their volumes as a result have actually held up a little bit better. It's challenging across the board, right? So you've got to give somewhat of a pass to P&G and to the whole space. But I do think that if you have this aggressive restructuring, you've got to also match it with aggressive investments into the areas, into products that are better, and into areas in the world that are growing faster.
Unilever is a European company that's one of Procter & Gamble's top competitors.
Yeah.
The stock was down bigger this morning. It's still down today. Is this an opportunity for this company?
Yeah, I like Unilever very much, and I think Paul Polman is one of the best CEOs in the industry. We've owned the stock in the past. I think at $30 or below, it's very interesting. Again, this company has aggressively spent the last couple of years at investing into their products, streamlining things that weren't good, and eventually they want to get to 75% of their sales in emerging markets. So they will kind of have a buffer to the slower, developed nations, and I like what they're doing. It's just, unfortunately, that stock trades with Europe, and we know what's going on in Europe.
Right, exactly. Now, I know you're underweight the consumer staples sector in general. It's had a great run this year. It's a defensive play. What are some names that you do like in the space?
Yeah, we are underweight, and we have been for a while for exactly all of these reasons. But we started to buy a couple of them because we do think that in the second half of this year into next year, you do have that headwind of raw material costs becoming a tailwind. And a lot of companies that have pricing power, you'll have that double whammy. So you should see margins improve from these really kind of trough levels. So Kraft we like because it's a split up, right? You know, they're breaking themselves up into two. That we like a lot. I think General Mills is really a play on one of the best premier companies in the space that typically trades at a premium to the market and to the industry, and it's trading at a discount because everyone's wondering what is their growth strategy internationally. But they just made 2 acquisitions that I think will help them, and I think we'll get more details when they report and they have their analyst day about their strategy going forward. And you know, Clorox is just kind of a name that they've already announced badly, right? The numbers have already come down, and I think that 70% of their revenues being in the States kind of insulates them a little bit, if you will. So I also think that they're doing a very good job at international markets. They're focusing on profitability improvements rather than just market share gains, and I kind of like that too.
So in the consumer staple space, you have to be a stock picker here.
Absolutely.
This market is
stock pickers market.
Stocks have rallied this year.
We're coming into a Monday where we're going to